What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're here with my Rivian R1T and we're going to be talking floor mats. And I realize that's kind of a weird topic, but we've got the factory Chilowich mats, we've got the Rivian all-weather mats, and then we have 3DMAXpider all-weather, but kind of not all-weather rubber mats, but also very similar to Chilowich, but with better coverage. So let's take a look. So as I mentioned, we have two of the Rivian factory options there, so the Chilowich and the all-weather mats. But when this company reached out to me, these are actually the mats I used in my former Model S. They're pretty great, but wanted to try them out for my Rivian, even though I do have the Rivian all-weather mats. I wanted to see how they are, because the Rivian all-weather mats, they're about $175. I think I may have gotten them slightly cheaper as an early order holder. But these 3DMAXpider ones, they're $195 on the website. There is a link down below and a discount code. So if you're interested after watching this, definitely use the link down below. It helps out the channel. Appreciate that. But without further ado, let's put these mats in and then we'll compare. And then I'll also compare with the factory mats and see how they do. And I do have a full set as well as a frunk mat here. So we'll check that out as well. So actually, why don't we start out with this frunk mat? Just in a dirt parking lot here near my apartment, wanting to use it to check these out. I've got this up, so let's set that back down, just like that. And let's see how this fits. A little tricky with one hand. Looks like goes under the little pouch here. So a little bit of interference there. So it actually doesn't allow you to use this compartment with it in place because it has little bits here. So that is pretty nice, but it doesn't really let you access the subfloor, which could be good or bad depending on how you look at it and depending on if you use that or not. Personally, I just have my Rivian factory charge cable down there that I pretty much never use, so it's not a big deal. But I could see that being a bit annoying. But also, as a side effect, it has really good fit here, and you're probably not going to get any dust or anything kind of going underneath it. So overall, I think I like that, and it's a little bit more non-slip, so you can see the texture there and kind of these grooves, and even probably will stop some stuff from sliding across. So overall, I like that. I'm going to put my bin that normally lives up here back in place, and then we'll check out the inside mats. So I actually ended up putting the little cargo net thing here underneath in the sub-frunk floor because I pretty much never use it, so I didn't see a reason to leave it there and kind of have it interfere with those spots there. It is a little bit weird that this folds like this with the fold line there rather than having a fold line aligned with the floor fold line. See there? So I find that a bit strange, not sure why that was a design decision. I did reach out to the company to see if they had a reason for that. And definitely if I get an answer, because I'd sent that this morning, I'll put it in the pinned comment. So that's nice in place. Of course, the big frunk on the Rivian R1T. So let's go inside now. Two quick things to mention. If you're interested in these hooks, I cover these in my Rivian gift guide. So these are really nice. They use the existing magnet spots there, really nice and firm. And then these lights are actually upgraded abstract ocean lights, so I have a dedicated video for that as well. But there you can see this is just like a collapsible bin from Costco, and this is actually more usable now for longer stuff now that I removed that little net. So overall net positive in that regard. And let's come inside here. So I did remove all the mats, so we have no mat in there right now. Wiped it up a little bit. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit, but let's grab the 3DMAXpider mat. Here we have it, driver's side. Sometimes these take a little bit of finesse to get fully in place. And they do have interfaces there for the factory retention points, which is good. Let's see if we can, there we go. So that's nice and in place. I don't know if I love that it covers the pretty nice dead pedal, but it is nice that it's actually keeping it clear here, so that way you don't end up with crap that accumulates there. And then this does come back farther than the factory mat, so it covers all the way back to here. And this goes all the way onto the little sill plate here. So I think overall this is going to keep the vehicle cleaner. This also comes up a little bit so you get more of an edge. And it's a pretty nice smooth surface. So overall a fan of that. But let's swap it for the other two mats so you can see a comparison as well. So we'll pull this out. And let's grab the Chilowich mat. So these are the default factory mats that every Rivian includes. They do come in a couple different colors depending on what your interior color is. So these are the ones that come with my Ocean Coast interior. And I believe the Forest Edge and Black Mountain include the same mats, if I'm not mistaken. So here you can see these mats, they're pretty nice. They seem pretty durable. If you're in a mild climate, probably fine, like California, something like that. But even if you're in California, you might still go to the beach and get sand, things like that. So I'm a big fan of kind of more coverage, all-weather type mats, even in mild climates, because, I mean, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you can see my dead pedal there. It's pretty dirty, so that's going to need some love. So not great coverage there from the factory Chilowich. But I mean, overall a nice factory mat. I would definitely prefer that over carpet. And here we have the factory all-weather mat, or I guess factory optional all-weather mat. So apologize, it's pretty dirty. I've had these in here since day one, and I've vacuumed them a few times, but never actually pulled them in, scrubbed them, things like that. But you can see the gap here that I was mentioning. You can also see the gap back here and how that doesn't come up very far. Dead pedal is exposed, which looks nice, but does lead to crap accumulating down there. And also underneath the accelerator pedal there is blocked as well. Probably good in case someone doesn't have it attached properly, but not great. So I'm actually going to put in all of the 3DMAXpider mats, and then I'll give you a tour showing you what that looks like. But here you can see the factory rear mat, kind of how it's, or sorry, factory all-weather mat, how it's in there. So really nice coverage. Show you the passenger side as well. We've got all the mats here. Apologize for the mess. Had to move some stuff to have it accessible. And here's the passenger side as well. So doesn't go up all the way, which is maybe not ideal. So we'll see how the 3DMAXpider mat does in that regard. And quickly before I install the 3DMAXpider mat here, I use some of this CarPro's interior and use a little brush here and dropped a microfiber onto gravel, which is not ideal, but we're not really scratch prone surfaces here, so I'll be careful and still use it on the clean side. But just sprayed a little bit on, agitated it with the brush. Now I'll wipe it off and then it'll look brand new. I'll show you in a second here, but wanted it to look nice before I put the floor mat in that covers it and keeps it looking nice. So as you can see there, looking much better. A little bit of suds still in there. Those should dry up and then look great. So now let's put in the MaxSpider mat. All right, so I've got the two rear mats here. And what's interesting is that the factory mat actually seems to have a little bit better coverage in the rear of the Rivian. And also interesting, the rear MaxSpider mat, it doesn't actually have clips. It just has a kind of a spot for where the clips to go that definitely look like nipples, which is kind of funny. But kind of weird. The coverage is nearly identical. If anything, the factory mat is a little bit better coverage in some regards, because this comes back slightly farther, but this comes up slightly higher, if you can see that. They're actually about identical, very similar. So I'm gonna install this, we'll see how that goes, but I might actually end up running a mix of the 3DMAXpider in the front and the factory in the rear, because I really don't have rear passengers that often anyway. Apologies, there's a helicopter right above me, kind of cool. But let's put this in and see how it fits. So here you can see the 3DMAXpider mat installed. Surprisingly, actually really good coverage. You can see it goes right between here, which is really nice, like perfect fit around seat rails all the way up to the electronics that are under there, that box there, right up against the center console. So really nice in that regard. And you can see over here, so that's where one of the mounting points is, and it just kind of goes over it. And same thing here. It's a little disappointing to see that they didn't include latches. I don't know why they wouldn't. But otherwise, this is actually really nice. I think it does seem a bit more premium than the factory mats. And I do like the coverage in the front quite a bit. Over the passenger side as well. So here you can see the rear mat, like I showed you already. And then up here with the seat forward. This doesn't go up a whole lot further than the factory one, unfortunately, but still pretty good. So now that you've seen these mats, let me know what you think. The front trunk mat is about $95, which I think is a bit pricey for what it is, unfortunately. But as I mentioned, if you're interested in these mats, definitely check out the link down below. There's also a discount code for you guys. I believe it's $10 off. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.